Hello, hello, YouTube. Good to see you. Good to be here. Gonna be streaming again, as promised. Working on this. Thank God that worked. You never know. Sometimes it doesn't. Never ever know. Knock on wood. Gonna be working on, I guess I'll be working on Johnny a little more, but I might switch over to V if I get bored of Johnny and start working on his rendering a little bit. This is the poster for anyone who doesn't know. May just tune in to this stream and hasn't seen the others. I'm trying to finish this. It's based on the Phantom Liberty DLC, which I really liked. And yeah, I'm trying to get it done. Been working on it for a long time. Only started streaming it recently towards the end of it. Now I just gotta render the two characters in the front, V and Johnny, and touch up some things around the image. I'll probably add some effects, like some bloom effects and, you know, stuff like that, but other than that, things just need to be tidied up a bit, and it'll be done. I'll be happy to have it done, and it's came out pretty good. I think the composition could be better, but I've noodled with that about as much as I can. I think now it just kind of is what it is, and it just needs to be finished being rendered up, and it'll be good to go. So feel free to chat, ask questions. I will reply and I'll watch the chat, but I'm mostly just going to be working on this, and I might ramble a bit, but we'll see. I might be more quiet today, unless people come in and are asking me stuff, which is awesome. Happy to chat, but yeah, definitely just going to be working and talking, and yeah, so feel free to hang out, work on stuff if you're working on stuff too. That's cool. Or talk in the chat, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna get going here. Let me switch this thing because I'm listening to this. Okay, so I know where the music's at, and then we'll get going. Same music. I haven't changed my music up yet, sorry y'all, but I will find more YouTube safe stuff soon enough, and that'll be good. Let me just make sure this is all good. Okie dokie, on we go. Alright, I'm gonna zoom in and a little bit and see where I left off with Johnny. I think the pants are okay for now. I'll probably noodle with those a little bit more as I go, but I don't want to get too caught up in the weeds there. It's looking acceptable for now. We'll see where it goes though. Yeah, what else do I need to do on Johnny? Obviously he needs more work, but I always come into these sort of like wondering where I'm at a little bit. Or where I should start rather. So let's see here. Okay. Don't lag on me now, tablet. Okay, there we go. It's not the most powerful tablet ever. But, so this is the layer I was working on his pants last time, and I just checked that. That's good. And then let me make another layer up top. I know I definitely need to work in this rim light more, because it's not right yet. It was just kind of blocked in, and then I painted over it, and now it's kind of painted out. So I need to tidy that up. Maybe I'll go through and start doing that where that needs to be done. Kind of want to work on the hair a little bit too. Let me pull up my reference here. Almost forgot about that. Okie dokie. Yeah, alright. Let's see. What pencil do I have? Was I working on a comic last, or... Yeah, I think that's what I want. And then a chunky canvas brush. It's good. Alrighty. I think I will start in with the hair a little bit, just to work on these shapes a tad. And I'm watching the chat too. If there's any questions or anything, feel free to ask. Of course, happy to answer anything, or just talk about stuff, talk about games. I usually wind up rambling about games and stuff. Night Rain, is Night Rain out already, or has it not released yet? I'm actually not sure. The Elden Ring game, the multiplayer Elden Ring thing, whatever it is. I really would like to try that. It looks interesting. I thought I saw someone playing it online, but I'm not sure if that was like an early copy or something. But when that is out, I definitely would like to check it out. And I need to see my drawing here. I sort of forgot where the finger ends and the cigarette begins. Okay, I see. Yeah, that helps. I hate to zoom in on you guys so much. I know it's not super fun to look at when it's all zoomed in. But I do need to see some of this for this little bit. At some point I need to finalize his tattoos as well. That needs to be done. Because right now they're just kind of like a light overlay. I want them to be more more put together than that. And his rings and all that stuff too. That's only held by the drawing right now. So a lot of little things that gotta get done. Oh, and I haven't even painted his arm yet. His back arm. The one that's going behind here. Forgot about that too, so that's gotta get done. Tighten up his glasses a bit as well. I also, a little earlier today, worked on a 5-point perspective drawing. I really like those fisheye lens drawings, and I want to get better at them. So I've been doing a bunch of those. Most of them come out really bad, but I think I finally kind of hit a point where I'm starting to get it. And like I understood 5-point perspective, but to do a drawing like that quickly and just not be too precious with it, I'm just trying to do that to like improve my drawing chops in general, and because I think those drawings are cool looking and fun. So I'm drawing a bunch of scenes like that. I posted one on my YouTube Shorts. You can check that out. It's like 40 seconds. And I think it came out pretty decently. Like halfway decently is what I put on Instagram, I think. This is a halfway decent one, so I'm gonna post it. It's someone walking around Night City, and it's just Night City and the buildings and a street in front of an Arasaka building. Just kind of random thing. I want to be able to do those really quick and confidently, so I'm trying to get, it's easy if you like slow down and really take your time and plot them out. Like I know how to draw those that way, but I want to just like be able to like, you know, just kind of throw stuff down like Kim Jong, well, not like Kim Jong-gi, I'll never be that good. But like, you know, like Karl Kopinski, Kim Jong-gi, all those really great draftsmen who just kind of like are good at direct drawing. I want to be better at that, so that I think that'll make everything I do a little bit faster. It'll make my painting faster. Obviously the drawings will get faster, all that good stuff. So that's the goal with those. And this hand, would that part really be that far in shadow? I think it would. Probably. Yeah. Soften up that edge a bit more, I guess. And then I guess I should also render his cigarette a bit. I haven't really paid any attention to that yet. It's such a small part, you don't really think about it. But that'll help me stop losing where it delineates once I get rid of my line drawing, so it's a good thing to do. Now that I think about it. And then, where's that light coming from? Forward, and so it's going to hit it kind of like, or up rather, so it's going to be a little more shadowy on this side, but it's white, so it won't be that dark in the shadow. Probably even more than that, actually. Probably just more like this. Might be a little bit darker than that, we'll see. See how it looks. And then I suppose, even though this is lit with green light, if the cherry is burning, it would be orange and red-ish. But I don't know how good that'll look with, I don't know if that'll be a good or a bad move. It might be distracting from other stuff. So I might try it, and if it doesn't look great, I'll just leave it a greenish color, just so it fits better. Even though that's probably less accurate. But illustration isn't always only about accuracy. Sometimes you just gotta make stuff look cool. Speaking of which, in order to do that, I'm gonna look up a reference for this cigarette cherry, because I'm pretty sure I know what it's gonna look like, but I want to make sure it makes sense to some extent. Yeah, so it's just gonna be very saturated, kind of orange color. I see. And then the yellow comes through in the hotter parts, and there'll be ash around and stuff, potentially too. I won't overcomplicate it. This is a very small part of the painting. But you know, it just has to look reasonable. And those yellow parts probably, yeah, they're a little more clean looking. They definitely get very far away from orange. Yeah, kind of like that. So if it was gonna be a red orange cherry, yeah, it's not like too distracting or anything. I could probably leave it like that, that's fine for now. And then it would get a little darker around that area where it's actually burnt. probably have the light shining through right up against it. I gotta turn off that line layer. Okay. Yeah, kind of makes sense. I think that's fine. I don't think that's overly distracting or anything. It's very small. And then let's go back to this layer. I'll give it a bit of a core shadow. Just to sell that form a little better. Probably soften it up a bit. It's a little harsh for a cigarette. Foreshadow. It's so small. And then just give a little reflected light just for more form. Oops, just to give it a little more form there. But not there, because there it's gonna go. Whoops. Something about when you double tap or hold something too long, it does that on this tablet. I don't know what that is exactly. If I could find a way to shut that off, I'd be super happy. If anybody knows, is watching the replay of this or something, feel free to tell me, because that's very annoying. It's probably an ambient occlusion, probably wouldn't reach quite that far. Probably stay a little closer here. And that'll have to be touched up, I'm sure, because it's not quite, the edges are wonky and stuff, but deal with that at a later stage when it's a little more finished and finalized. Oh, I forgot. What I was gonna do is leave an image up on the side, kind of, where that'll show like what the painting looks like when it's zoomed out. So even when I'm zoomed in, people can kind of get a sense for what the hell it looks like. Because if they tune in and they just see me zoomed in on something, that's not super interesting to look at. That'd probably be good to remember for next time. I will do that. I'm making a note of it here, so that I'll remember in the replay. And then I need to touch this up a little bit because it's got like this other lip, or this other layer that comes out here that'll catch a little light. And then it's got stitching, and it also, it's not quite like wrapping the form there. So I gotta fix that a little bit. was watching I think it was an Instagram reel, and someone was just talking about like their sort of stage of life and place they were in their life, and they said something that I was just like, yeah. They said it was just so simple and accurate. It was like what was it? Something very obvious and very true that we just kind of take for granted sometimes. We're all caught up in the things we're doing. Something like along the lines of like life is weird, but it wasn't the word weird, it was like a better word. It was just the sentiment of it. It's like, yeah, when you really think about it, this is very strange. Like everything about it. It's bizarre. Unexpected things always come up. That's all what philosophical waxing I'll do, I promise. I'm not gonna bore people with my thoughts on that, but something about that just kind of got me. I was like, yeah. Older you get, the more true that gets. Just saying that made me feel old. Older you get. God, I need to stop saying things like that. I'm a younger, older guy. I'm in my early 30s. I'm not old. It's not old, is it? It's kind of old. Younger, older guy. That's what it is. It's fine. I'm a young, old guy. I'm still on the young side of things. I'm crossing over into the old guy side of things, but I'm not old. I can resist it for a little longer. Still young. Still know how my phone works, my computer. I'm good. It hasn't gotten me yet. Still time. How old was Johnny in this game? I actually don't know. He must have been around my age, right? When he died. That's comforting. How old is V for that matter? V's like, is he in his 20s? Or is he... I think he's in like his... I don't know actually. I don't know how old V is even. They don't really talk about it, I think, in the game. I should talk about painting instead of just depressing people with me being old. Yeah, I gave a painting tip on one of my other streams recently, where I said something one of my instructors said that was very good advice. That seems obvious, but then when you hear it, you're kind of like, oh yeah. Which was that, I'm saying it again now so I can clip it for shorts. So I'm going to stop interrupting myself, but I'm just explaining, because I already said this on another stream, if anyone remembers. Whatchamacallit, he said, my instructor said, every painting looks terrible until it doesn't. And that's a very true, obvious statement, but it sort of rings true when you're in the thick of it, because it's like, oh yeah, no painting looks good at the beginning, or like when you're just getting going on it, or even like maybe halfway through. It doesn't look good until it's finished, because if it did, you wouldn't need to finish it. So that's helpful for, like, you know, if you get anxiety, like the blank page anxiety or the just starting your image anxiety, that kind of thing, because it's very true. You know, it only looks good when it's done. I mean, that's not entirely true. I guess it kind of looks good, like, you know, towards the end it starts looking good, but it still needs to be finished. And it never looks good at the very beginning, is the point, I think. So, take that and do with it what you will. I'm passing on the knowledge that was passed on to me and such while I paint Johnny I was gonna say Johnny Cyberhand. Johnny Silverhand's neck. Johnny Cyberhand. It's a much worse name. It's no bueno. It's not good. Silverhand's better. Don't call him Cyberhand. That's foolish. Speaking of Cyberhand, I should get started on that, because I haven't really rendered that at all yet, and it's not going to be as detailed as the stuff that's coming forward, but it's there. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be painted, just like everything else. Let's see what we got going here. Okay, so we got the silver part wrapping around there, I think. I'm checking my reference while I'm doing this. Let's see. Yeah, those silver panels wrap around, and then there's the black and red muscle parts, the rubbery parts, or synthetic material, whatever that is. It looks kind of rubbery, or carbon fiber, or something, I don't know. But that wraps around, and then the light is coming at such a strange angle to that. You would probably only get like a little light on the edge, so that's going to be dark like that, which kind of suits the illustration. So good thinking, me. I'm glad I thought that out ahead of time, and I'm realizing it now that I did a good job. Yay me. Yeah, so that's gonna go like, probably see some of that, probably won't go that far, and then just a touch kind of coming down like that as the Chocobo song plays. We'll render this middle arm. And then the big deal with the muscle parts is they're just going to be really dark for the most part, but there's those two red ones in the center there, or two different bands of multiple red ones, so I can pull those through. How red is going to look in this green light is tricky though. It would really just, I mean, it would kind of come through, I think, and just kind of be a desaturated red. I could figure out exactly what it would be, but I'm just gonna go with what looks good for this. Definitely dark. Let's try to go with this for starters, and I think it is, let me turn that drawing up for a sec. Yeah, I think it's gonna be, let's do that on a new layer for good measure. It's gonna be right about this one. And then that part will be white, actually. That square part in there. Rectangle, whatever. And this one. And they'll probably be a little closer together. In the reference, they're a little closer together. There's less of a gap between them, so probably do that. And then let's make those white parts white, but in this green light, so it'll be like basically like this, but darker because it's in shadow, just like the cigarette. This will probably be something like this. I'll leave it a little lighter because I'm gonna fade this down a bit, this layer, because it'll mesh with the green more, and then we'll get something more like how it would be affected in that light situation. It should be a little darker than that though, I think. Is it boring when I just narrate what I'm doing? Maybe I shouldn't do that. I should probably find a way to like talk about other things while I'm doing this. Nobody cares about the narration. They can see what I'm doing. If they have questions, I'll ask. don't know what to talk about. This is the streamer part of things that I'm not as proficient at as the art part of things. Yeah. I'll try some layer styles here. Oh, that's not coming down enough. Maybe the color layer style would be appropriate for this. It might be too much though. It might like wash it out too much or something. And one way to find out. Gotta tidy up the shape too, so this looks more like it's being under some tension. Because right now it's a little loose. I want to replay Cyberpunk. Since they've done that crazy update, the 2.0 I think it was update, where they changed the progression, I haven't played any kind of Netrunner. Like only at the beginning for a little while, because I hate that like now you can't, it's much harder to be stealth while being a Netrunner, because I really like playing stealth. So I just jump into Sandevistan right at the beginning now, whereas before I used to play Netrunner for a while and then switch over when the game gets more combat heavy later on. But yeah, it's hard to play Netrunner when everything gets traced now. I don't know if there's like a workaround for that, but I haven't been able to find one. As far as I know, that's how they want it. And I know that later on there's buffs for it kind of, and like you can stack things, and so it does sort of pay off, but it seems, but it's still tricky. So it's too stressful, but I would like to give it a shot and just do a playthrough as a Netrunner again, like I did when I originally played, and not use the Sandevistan. Have to give it a go at some point when I have time. I'm very busy, just like everybody else. There's too many games to play. I still never played the whatchamacallit, that Warhammer game that came out. It looked really fun. Still haven't played Marvel Rivals, which I've heard from a bunch of people is very good. There's a lot of games I want to play. Not enough time. Not enough time to do that and draw and whatnot. How dark are his tattoos? I'll have to figure that out too. I'll leave them light for now because I'm still painting other stuff, but this is what I meant to see. Okay, I see what's going on. Okay, so then let me go back to this layer, or not this layer. Well, yeah, I'll use that in a sec, but I was going to do layer styles with this one, that's right. So, multiply? Definitely not. Let's try like, color? No. Hue? No. Saturation? Yeah. I'll probably just leave it as a regular layer and paint into it more, tone it down a bit, and then as I render things around it, I'll know what to do with it. I'll figure it out. For now, that's okay. And then on top, this, according to this, cuts over it a little bit, so let's see. If it was catching the light from that, this part would probably be a little brighter than the part that's wrapping down here. And then come this? Oh yeah, that does. I see. That do be that way. And then we'll start blocking in this arm, which is just going to be really dark. These muscle things. Other than those little patches that are lighter. So we'll go with something like this to start with, probably. And just fill it in. To differentiate the different parts first. And that part will probably be catching that purple light. I'll deal with that later. And then I want to get away from rendering the metal right now and keep focusing on this. So let's give it some areas where the AO is probably kicking on. In between. I'll add that in here too. And then we'll give it some little lighter spots to kind of show the form and that it's a little bit shiny. Not that one, maybe that light. Where did we start here? So maybe like probably something more like that. It's even probably going to catch a little bit of that reflection. As with this, I just said I was going to do that later, but here I am. It's starting to look like an arm. A silver arm, a silver hand, if you will. And yeah, let's tackle this too. So maybe darker down here. And maybe push it a little more towards green, because I'll probably be getting more of that. It gets darker. Just being kind of messy with it right now, not being too careful. Just trying to figure out how this is gonna look when all is said and done. And I think that's as light as I want it to be, and I'll actually make this part darker. Just go a little more saturated and darker around. Like when it starts to flatten out a little bit, and then that makes that part look weird. So maybe I should just stick with this instead of making it push more towards blue or green or whatever. This is definitely the longest I've ever worked on an illustration that I actually planned on finishing without finishing it. This has just taken forever because I just haven't had big chunks of time to work on it, just little bits here and there. And I put it off for a while too, for a little while. I've been trying to work on this one, been working on this one for like 6 months, should never take that long. And it wouldn't. If I was working on it like all the time, I would have gotten it done in like probably a month and a half. Something like that. But I just didn't have the time for a while. But I'm glad I didn't shelve it. I'm glad I'm actually finishing it, because I have some things that are shelved that I don't know if I'm ever going to get back to, that I would like to finish. There's just too many things. And pretty decent-ish. There's things that I don't like though. This looks a little too simple. Should be dark around here and can grade it up a bit. This is the Turks theme. See, I kept getting it wrong. Well, not kept, but I did get it wrong once. And I thought a different song was the Turks theme. This is obviously the Turks theme. Just listen to it. You can just see Reno and Rude being all Turkish stuff. Not like the country. I don't need to say that, right? You know what I mean, right? And then, where did my drawing say this part goes? Yeah, pretty much just flush with that, which I don't like. So, why don't we just pull it out a little more? Because that would be an annoying tangent, although a very small one that no one would notice, but still annoying to me. So let's do that, and then let's grab this and just make this part like it's rolling around here and reflecting the arm a bit. The light that's on the arm a bit, and then it gets dark here. Give it a nice gradient. You know what old game I really want to play? I really want to play Metal Gear Solid 4 for PS3. There's no way to play that stupid game. The only way is if you have an emulator. Or I guess if you actually have still a PS3 in the game. Yeah, there's that way too. But that's so expensive, you can't just go buy one. It's ridiculous. And not even know if it's gonna work and all kinds of problems. But I never played that game when it was out for whatever reason. I think I hadn't. Well, I definitely hadn't played the other Metal Gear games at all, and I didn't want to jump in at 4, and I didn't really know what they were about anyway. But hindsight, I wish I had just played it, because now you can't. And also that other one where you play as Raiden? Is it Raiden or Raiden? I actually forgot. That one too, Rising Revengeance, I think it's called. Never played that either. I watched Asmongold on stream recently. He played it, I don't know if it was recently, but I watched it recently. He played it, I guess. It was interesting. It looked really fun. It's amazing how they had that cutting mechanic where you could actually cut stuff up and it would actually cut it like the way that you cut it. That's pretty cool, I thought. I would have loved that as a teenager. I would have played that a ton, I think. But yeah, I wasn't into Metal Gear until I got older. I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't play it. And I didn't really understand it. I didn't know it was so crazy. Like, I didn't know there were so many zany things and, like, sort of fourth wall breaks and jokes and things. And all the little weird things about it. I didn't understand. I thought it was much more like serious, and it is serious, but I mean, I thought it was like only serious, but obviously it's got a lot of variety to it in terms of its mood, tone. That's looking better. That looks a little more real. That looks a little less overly simple. It's getting somewhere. Let's just tone that down because I don't think the gaps would be that big. So let's make them a little smaller. Leave that one big on the edge there because that can be like empty space. I think, according to the reference, it would be. And then that's decent. Okay. It's coming along. Starting to look like a silver hand. That looks decent. I think maybe this part should go back a little bit, probably. The gradient should back down a little. Something like that. But smoother. This part should be filled in, maybe. And then this should be smooth transition there. Something like that, yeah. Maybe it could even, I think it even has to even out here a little, come a little lower. Yeah, I think so. And I'll fix this, but it should wrap more around than that, but it's okay for now. I'll have to fix it later. And then, let me see if it would serve this metal look to have a darker part here, right up against the light here. Sometimes that makes it look cooler. And then it can soften up as it comes over here to that value. And then involve fixing that gradient a bit. Yeah, I think that is better actually. So let's amp that up nicely and we'll redo the gradient because it's worth it if it looks good. Maybe even a touch darker. Kind of like that. And give it more room to grow to the light. Probably do a better job on this gradient the second time anyway. If all goes well. Yeah, I think that's better, even though we hit a lot of that darker part. That's kind of the point, it just shines through a little. That's looking decent. And I'll make a mental note that when I come back to stream next time, I'll start tackling his hand up here, this part. But I think I'm going to call that for now. It is already 8:30. Been streaming for about an hour. Just a quick one tonight. I'll probably stream again tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the next day. But I'm still trying to do... I did 3 this week. I'm going to try to do, again, 3 next week, at least. Maybe 4. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But this is coming along. Johnny's getting close to being done. And then it's just V and some tidying up and we'll be done. I like how it's coming along. Generally. Some things I wish... composition. I already talked about that at the beginning. I'm not gonna say it again. But yeah. I like how her face came out. It looks really good, I think. And I like her whole back chrome, her back cyberware stuff. That's looking cool. And you know, everyone looks pretty good, but yeah. I can't wait to see it done. It's gonna be cool. Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in. I know people pretty much filtered in and then right out. But that's cool. I'm happy to have anyone check it out at all. So, and I think as I stream more regularly, we'll probably get more people, like-minded people who are interested in this sort of thing. Yesterday I did the Mega Man X FPS update stream, so people who were more interested in that were able to tune in for that. But the painting streams, I think it's harder to find people who want to watch it. To just, not that there aren't people who want to watch it, but to just reach them. I've heard YouTube's not great for that in and of itself. But I might start dual streaming on Twitch, and that might help the thing. Because I do have a Twitch that I never use, but I think it's not too hard to do a dual stream. You just need the software, so I'll probably do that. I looked up a software for that a while ago, but yeah. Anyway, see y'all next time, probably tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the next day. And maybe a little earlier next time. Yeah, because I think it... Well, yeah, we'll try things out and figure out what works best. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one. Smash that subscribe and like the YouTube and do things. Do them.